Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Queen Studios Morfig blank body guy, naked man guy, customizer friendly guy sort of thing. Let's do a question of the day right away. Okay, if you guys are buying these, are you buying them just for fun? Are you using them for art reference? I get that a lot in the comments, so I'm curious if that's a pretty common thing. Or are you guys buying it for customizing for these blank bodies from all these different companies? Alright, and if so, how much does price weigh in? Because I know if you're customizing, you probably don't want to buy an $80 figure on a regular basis. So maybe this thing's for you. I don't know. Anyway, this thing is a review sample from them. Thanks to them for that. But I will review it as I review everything else, like I always do. No matter who provides what, it gets a fair review. And so sometimes things are bad, sometimes things are good. We'll see how this thing is. But I have to preface this review, or preface, if you want to pronounce it that way. I don't know which way is accurate. This thing's cheap as heck. It's cheap as heck. So I'm going to start off by saying easily worth the price. It's like $20, $22, I think. I think it's $22 at Big Bad Toy Store. I'll have links in the description below. It's cheap as heck. So just right off the bat, yes, it's worth it. Easily worth it, without a doubt. But since it matters if it's actually any good, like does it actually function properly and that kind of thing, I am going to review it like it's not just an incredibly good value for what you're getting, okay? Alright, so that way everybody can get it out of their system. They can stop being upset that I'm saying a $20 figure isn't perfect. Nothing's perfect, but we still have to point out what is wrong with it in case it matters to people. Okay, so let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. I do like the package. The styling is appropriate, very nicely done. Simple, but nice. And they did some drawings of the figure, and I think that's cool. Like I said, I think a lot of people use these for drawing purposes. This is the wheat version, by the way. Not exactly a skin tone, but the good thing about that is, and the reason I want to bring that up is not just a joke that they're not just naming them different skin tones. This color is great for dry brushing if you're going for a white guy, of course. If you're going for a white guy, you could dry brush like a more white guy skin tone. I'm a little pink for a white guy, but still, which is funny because I have a lot of Greek. Anyway, dry brush over this, and this color is going to be good for the low lights. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, but that would definitely be a thing you could do. Or you could airbrush and, of course, leave the low lights. Anyway, let's get a height measurement in. This guy stands about 7 inches, including his hair, so like 6 and, I don't know, 7/8, give or take, to the top of his head. It's a little higher than that, probably. So we're going to look at about 17 and a half and then 17.7 centimeters, and here he is up against Darwin. So he's a touch tall for 1/12 scale, but is certainly within the realm of reasonable. Alright, so we did our question of the day, we did our height measurements. I said that it was a review sample. Let's get into it, I guess. Aesthetically speaking, I would put this guy in the category of stylized realism, or exaggerated realism. Probably leaning towards stylized. It looks very nice, and I have to say, for $22, even if this thing was on par price-wise with that Romanki turd that came out not that long ago, I mean, it came out a while ago, but I just reviewed it the other day, this thing blows it out of the water. It's far less stylized, but in terms of engineering, it's so much better. We'll get to that when we get to the articulation section. But it does have a few issues, which we will talk about. Most of them coming in the aesthetic portion, which you're probably thinking, it looks really good. And yes, I agree, but there are a few issues. So let's get into that. First of all, no paint anywhere, of course. That's what it's supposed to be, obviously. The head sculpt, I think, is just wonderful. Like a beardy Superman sort of look. That is a nice head sculpt. All the way around. Beautiful sculpt work. The hair, the face, everything. They added this, the Revoltech style hair cap, to allow the head to lean back farther. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but I mean, that's what you're going for, and it does help posability some, so that's fine, whatever. You have to have a trade-off always. They have more of like an Arnold build for the chest, which is nice, I think. Big, poofy pecs. That's good. The way they did their shoulders, it looks nice. They look a little bit underdefined, I think, because of the way it's done. It's fine. Like, it's just almost all one straight, curvy line. Straight, not straight, smooth, curvy line. There's no real bowling ball going on for the shoulder, which you would expect with pecs that big, but whatever. But the organic sculpting in here is really, really, really nice. It has a very realistic look for being stylized, which is a great choice, I think. The back, I don't love the back. The way they did the musculature here, it kind of looks a little strange. It looks much better on the box with the drawing. And of course, we have the ugly shoulders. So if you're looking at it from the back, it's definitely not as good looking. The way they handled the cheeks is a good way to do that because your butt cheeks are actually farther in like this anyway. I mean, not exactly, but if you have to sacrifice some mass on the side for range, this is a good way to do it. It's fairly accurate. I mean, within reason, so that's nice. The quads, I don't like the quads at all. I hate the way they sculpted the quads down here. It looks like sausages that the twisty part's been cut off. I don't like this. I don't like the head of the muscles down here. I don't like the way they insert around the knee. I think this looks really, really goofy. I think the lower legs are all right, but I think we need more calf on the inside. Yeah, I don't really like the way they did that. He went from being super jacked to just having a little bit of muscle and being skinned. I don't like the lower legs. I don't like the quads, unfortunately. And I have to be honest, like I said, these are still reviews. I also don't like the feet. They're very flat, which is fine because human feet tend to be. But I think they could have gotten away with giving a little bit more meat, at least at the top right here, and then carving it away a little bit so you could actually pose the feet better. And I'll show you that later. So the feet bug me a little bit. Otherwise, the sculpt is really, really nice, and it carries through the articulation really well also. I said that twice, I think, the also part. So yeah, there are some issues, but generally speaking, this thing is gorgeous, and at the price point, I'll still mention it a few times, even though I already made that announcement at the front. It's great for the price point, for sure. A few weird issues here and there, but it is still a stunning figure for $20. It's great, and especially the upper body, I think it looks fantastic. I wonder if they did base it on Arnold a little bit. I know his chest wasn't exactly shaped like that, but kind of does look like it. Okay, so yeah, very nice. Now, as far as accessories go, it doesn't have a bunch of like boxing gloves and things, but it does have a bunch of different hands, and so that's nice. I think that should be good. The only real gripe I have here is that the fist hands have that finger forward fist type of thing. I prefer a more squared off fist. Let me know what you guys think about that. But then you do get a baggie for the hands, and maybe for the figure too, I guess, if you want to like throw them in your bag and take them to work for art reference or something. That's pretty cool, and you get a big-ass display stand. I like their display stands a whole bunch. You guys know I like clear display stands, and having the few rings in there gives it a little bit of style without distracting from the display too much. So I do like that. So accessory-wise, for $20, fine. Did I rate? I didn't rate the aesthetic. I'll do that. 9 out of 10 overall. And then for accessories, I'd like to see other accessories, but that's not really what it is. And for $20, I'm going to go 9.5 out of 10. You get a display stand and a bunch of hands. An alternate head would have been nice, like a bald head or something. Okay, now, as far as the articulation goes, which is really going to be the deal maker or deal breaker, I think, especially considering that Romanky thing that was hyper stylized and kind of cool looking, sucked. And I still have people defending it. No matter how many videos I make about it, people will still be like, nah, I don't want to take the truth and accept it. Okay, so this guy, does he pose? Well, they did a lot of things I like, which is a lot of double ball pegs. That's nice. The head does pose nicely. He can look up, no problem. Like I said, that hair thing does work. He looks down nicely. Leans to the side. The neck doesn't have the most range, but of course it's not all gappy and weird. So that's good. Yeah, it's a very nice organic poser. It doesn't have to hit like every single crazy pose. It's not going to do that, but it does look really nice in a natural pose. All right. Now for the shoulders, we're going to come back to the butterfly. Let's talk about this part first. It's just a cap that goes over the joint, which I am still not a fan of. It works all right doing this. It gets the arm up into a more natural pose. Your arm lifts up as it raises like that, so that's good. This has to flex though, which means it does that when you bring it down. You have to let it kind of settle again. So that's kind of annoying. It's also in the way, but you do have a bicep swivel independent of that, so it won't get in the way too much. But it is just kind of a nuisance. His arms go down pretty far. I think that's fine. I don't think they need to really go down farther than that, so that is okay. And then, of course, you're going to get your full rotation, so that's fine. So the shoulders, I still think just a regular shoulder is the best option. Just put the joint in the shoulder like they've been doing forever, and just leave it at that. I think that's fine. There's technically a ball peg in there. You get a little bit of wiggle outside of that butterfly joint. Not a ton, but a little bit. For the elbows, I like the way they've done this. If you're going for a more seamless look, you can do this. It does make the elbows look a little fat sometimes, but this is definitely a good way to go. No joints showing other than the cuts. So that's what it looks like that. And then when you bend it, you still get really good range, very, very good range, and a very natural looking elbow for the most part. They have a little bit of a nub in at the end here. I think they could have smoothed that off, but that's really picking nits at that point. But I mean, some people are going to see that elbow and be like, I don't like it. Yeah, it could look better, but that's still an incredibly good elbow. There's really no gapping to speak of, and it looks mostly like a real elbow, so I think that's wonderful. See, people, they get mad when I point out things. I think it's wonderful, but it does have things that other people might care about, and that's why I have to point things out. For the wrist, ball hinges, that's pretty much standard. All right, for the torso, can it torso? I know I'm going to get back to the butterflies. Can it torso? We're going to do the torso first because I have to take it apart to show you the butterfly. It's got double ball pegs. He leans back that much on the top joint, which is fine. That's enough, and it's sculpted well enough that he doesn't look pregnant. You're always going to have a little bit of a something here, but that looks pretty good, I think. Leaning forward, it feels like it's not going to go, and then you can give it a little bit more. And he actually leans forward really nicely. Tiniest gap in the back here, but that's nicely done. Very well done. They used the lats to cut the body. That's good. Going side to side. Again, really, really good. This thing is just incredibly well done for the most part. You're going to get your full rotation there. Now, well, let's do the lower torso, then I'll get to the butterfly. So the lower torso also does lean back a little bit, and it leans forward a little bit. It doesn't have the most range. It's definitely meant to be used in conjunction with the upper. Going side to side is pretty minimal at the bottom, and it does rotate. But you put them both together, and he's going to hit the poses you are going to need him to hit. Short of like Revoltech style articulation. For something as seamless as this, as good looking as this, I think that's very well done. But, let's talk about the butterflies. First of all, they're really, really tight, but they do end up leaning forward some. They're just ball sockets in here. All right? And that's how that works. And you can force them forward. They're very tight. And you get forward range. Not a ton, but it does go. So if you want that, you have it. But it's pretty tricky to get it to move, at least mine. They're super tight. They're not stuck. They're just very tight joints, especially for balls. It's surprisingly tight. They don't go back at all, though, and that's why I wanted to show you this. There's just no place for them to go. There's nothing you can do about that other than cut plastic away. So, yeah, they don't lean back really at all, despite being relatively gappy back here. They don't go back, but they do go forward relatively nicely. You have to put a lot of strength into it. This is offset, but you already saw the torso works nicely, so I'm not bothered by it. I think that's fine. Oh, come on. Being offset does make it kind of tricky sometimes to, to get it lined up right. There we go. Okay. I got it all back together. It's just, sometimes it's tricky. With the neck, I don't know if I mentioned the neck thoroughly. I don't think I did. It does lean forward and back nicely, just not side to side. I think I mentioned the side to side, but forward and back is pretty good. Maybe I covered it. I don't know. All right, let's talk about the hips. They are good looking. Let's see if they have range. Going out to the side, not full splits. Far enough probably for most posing, but yeah, not full splits. They're not bad looking, but not full splits. Going forward, it does kick them out to the side a little bit, and they go up though, but out to the side. Then going back, you do get some back. This isn't that flexible of a material, so it's going to get in the way some. The hips aren't the best. They're fine, but they're not the best. Thigh swivel is going to thigh swivel. Double jointed knee, it's a nice knee, just like the elbow. It's pretty good. It's still a double jointed knee on an action figure, so you're going to get a lot of length here. There's just no way around that with a double jointed knee that doesn't like collapse and stuff. So that's fine. That's a really good knee, good range, good looks. And then for the ankle, they suck. Sorry, they're not great. I said great funny. It goes back all right because you can put that heel over that, but going forward, you just get basically nothing. Like, that's it. And that's why I was saying if the foot was a little bit thicker, you'd have some more plastic to work with, and that would be nice. The ankle rocker is okay, but not particularly good again. And then we have the toe hinge, which on a naked foot really shows the problems of the toe hinge, which is, I mean, the way they did it being the whole thickness of the foot, that's right, but it's so far back. The ball of his foot is way up here, and then the hinge is down here, and it gets chunky. So toe hinge is not well executed at all. It's also quite loose. Like, it's not floppy, but it is loose. So yeah, there are a few issues here and there on the figure. Of course, I already mentioned, for 20 bucks, I'm guessing most people aren't going to care. But if you do care about those things, it doesn't really matter if it's only 20 bucks. Those problems might be a problem for you. That's why I have to cover them. But I'll give his articulation a 9 out of 10. For the price point, it's phenomenal. There are a few issues, though. Of course, those ankles and feet being a problem. You can't pose a figure well if its feet don't work. That's a thing. So that's it. But yeah, otherwise it's really, really, really good. Especially for the price, it's crazy. So I'm going to give it an overall rating of, I'm going to say 9 out of 10. I think 9. Those ankles really bug me. Ankles and feet they are necessary to be good if you want your figure to pose, other than standing straight up. So yeah, really good. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll be done there. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.